Kelly here with Kelly's Tarot, transforming your world one card at a time. So this January, I'm taking part in Ethony's 31 Days of Tarot 2020. And each day is a different prompt, all about tarot goodies. And so this is day 4, and this is my top 5 most used tarot decks in 2010 to 2019. So the past decade, what decks have I used the most? And a couple of these overlap with my favorite tarot decks, but these are some that didn't really make my list, but I did work with them a lot for one reason or another. So this first one is the Brady Tarot, and this one is a animal deck, and it's got very gorgeous images. And I tended to use this one a lot because some of the images are a little bit challenging for me. And so I liked using this because it was a challenge for me to read with, and I felt like that I really got a lot out of it. And when I used it with clients, they really seemed to enjoy this deck. I always got compliments on it, so I tended to, when I felt like that it was a good match for a reading, then I would use it for that reading. So this was number 5 on my most used decks for this decade. Number 4 is the Kuro Tarot. And this one again is an animal deck, but I love crows, so I would tend to go to this deck again and again when I wanted to have a very familiar reading, when I wanted to have something that was very easy for me to connect with, and something that I just really loved the images. And so the Kuro Tarot was that for me these past several years, and one that I tended to use a lot for readings. So this was number 4, the Kuro Tarot. Number 3 is one that I used again and again and again. And this is just one, it's just a fun deck. It's the Dreaming Way-Tarot, and it's just a fun deck. It has kind of a Victorian steampunk kind of vibe. It's very cute. It's got lots of, the images are very pretty. It's got lots of symbolism. Very easy to work with, very easy for me to connect with, and this is just one of my very favorite decks that I would pull out again and again and use and really enjoy using. So this is number 3, the Dreaming Way-Tarot. Number 2 is kind of like the Dreaming Way-Tarot, one that I just pulled out again and again and again for readings because it was so easy for me to use the images in this. And this is the Crystal Visions-Tarot, and this was one that I really enjoyed working with over the years, and that I tend to just go back to again and again. The symbolism is very easy for me to connect to. The images are kind of fanciful, but still have a lot of symbolism, and still really easy for me to get a lot of insight and understanding when I do readings. So this is one that I used a lot over the years. And then the one deck that I used a lot, and this was not one that I used a lot for readings, but it's one that I used a lot when I wanted to study, or when I wanted to do pathworking, or when I wanted to use my tarot deck to find out something new, or for when I was doing maybe exercises out of a workbook. And this is the Tarot Made Easy, and it's just, it's very Rider-Waite-Smith, but kind of updated. And so the images are a little bit, they're very similar, but just a little bit updated. And so it's very easy to use, where you still get the traditional symbolism, but it's the colors are a little bit more modern and the images are a little bit more modern. So this is a deck that I turned back to many, many times to use for readings, but also for study and for just getting into the tarot even more. So that's it. That was my number one deck for the most used decks between 2010 and 2019. And again, this is from Ethony's Challenge, the 31 Days of Tarot 2020. And you can find, I'll link the original post down below. And if you would like to get a reading from me, I'll also link my information down below. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you tomorrow.